Let's bring in Loup Ventures founder and fast money friend, Gene Munster. So, Gene, you've had some time to think. You've listened. You probably took a little bit from all the players here. Give us something new.
Something new is Google is the oxygen of the internet. I think that with all due respect to your esteemed panel there, missing the bigger point here, which this is inseparable from our lives. There may be some fines. They've had $5 billion fine, another $1.5 billion potential, $8 billion lawsuit with Oracle, with $130 billion in cash. Those don't matter. Cost of doing business, I agree on that. But Joe, the kernel that needs to be added here is that nothing is perfect, but this company is finding more and more ways to become the fabric of our lives. And it's not just around search. It's becoming progressively around video. They're spending a lot more on content. You're going to hear more about YouTube ultimately down the road. And then it's going to start impacting these massive, the two biggest unaddressed markets right now from tech are transportation. That's a $7 trillion global number in terms of the spend there, and healthcare, which is around a $5 trillion number. These are big markets they're going after with Waymo and Verily. So the simple take is yes. I don't think that this was an unimpressive quarter. I want to be clear about that. But I think that this is a buying opportunity for the long term because this company is just going to become more and more ingrained in every hour of our life.
What else, Gene? I mean, these guys are mixed on whether you buy here. I'm not feeling. I don't know if I'm hearing a buy from you or a wait and buy from you.
I'm in the camp of buying the pullback here. And the simple math, if I look at, yes, FX is going to have a negative impact. That's the reason why the stock is sliding to Josh's clip that he played of Ruth Porat, that FX impact is going to have a negative impact on revenue growth this year. Stock traded down on that news. I think that's created an opportunity here because the FX obviously is just a pendulum. This will be a difficult year for FX, and then we pick up a headwind next year. And so I think there's an opportunity, if we just kind of play these numbers forward a couple of years from now, the company should still earn around $65. If you put a kind of a consistent multiple on it of 25 times, you get close to 30% or more than 30% upside now at the current levels. And so I'm a clear believer. I don't want to create any excuses for some things that are a little bit, some annoyances in the quarter, but I think this is a story to own.
Hey, Gene, so I'm a trader, so I'm only going to be looking out maybe the next 90 to 180 days. So let's kind of take that lens on it. Does it bother you that they are making some changes to the way they have to do business, whether it be the way that they're serving up ads, the privacy concerns, and the content concerns with YouTube? Do you think the market's going to have to digest that for the next couple quarters?
I do, and I do not want to send a mixed message here. I think that you should own Google. There is some complications around how the timing of all this plays out. Specifically, if you look at what's happening around privacy, and I don't think that they have had, if you will call it, the day of reckoning that Facebook has had. And so that potentially could have an impact. I think that going into a political cycle, that could have an impact. To me, at the end of the day, though, yes, that can have a negative impact on the stock in the near term, but doesn't change the long term. So to answer your question, it is something that concerns me, but does not overweigh my broader view of the company.
Gene, it's Tim. Why would the stock be down 7.5% on FX concerns? I mean, come on. Because I'm a bull here. And to me, and I'm not, I mean, I'm a long-term investor in the company. And my view is, other than it being oversold so the traders can do what they want, this smells more like something secular, right? We're not going to sell off this company on FX concerns because that is transitory, and that's not really at the fabric of where this company is either seeing pressure on their margins, pressure on their paid clicks.
So I don't think that investors are taking Ruth Porat at face value. I think what they're reading between the lines when she talks about FX, I think they're incorrectly reading that this is some problem with their overall underlying business.
So we got to change it. It's not cotton. The Aaron Neville, the fabric of remember that Aaron Neville, fabric of our life. What you're talking? So Google, right. we got to record that again. What's your grade for the quarter? Gene, what did you grade?
I'm giving Google a B-. Had some nicks in the armor here, but still is a good company to own.
All right. You know who can do that? Quintanilla.
Can do what?
Aaron Neville. You would not know the difference. The guy who sang that, Fabric of Our Lives.
Right.
He can
One
do
of my favorite songs.
Can he do it with Google as the fabric of our lives?
He could record it, and you'd think it was Aaron. I'm not kidding when I asked him to do it. So we got to trade. We have to trade this now. I'm told.
Well,
so,
grade. I mean,
who's going to
B-. I mean,
Seems like a rubber stamp.
I think it's a rubber stamp. I'm more in the C
You agree
camp.
with the grade?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I just said I don't agree with the grade. I'm more of in the C camp. I mean, you can talk about headwinds, FX headwinds all you want. The reality is they missed on revenue. That's a very important component of this. They missed by $1 billion. I think the stock got ahead of itself recently. I think 1150 is in the crosshairs. And I'll add this. I think the Amazon should be lower as well. Not necessarily on the back of this, but I think Amazon could probably breach that $1,900 level as well.
I think you have to wait on this, right? I mean, they're already, as Gene said, they haven't had the day of reckoning like Facebook has had when it comes to the privacy concerns. I think when you have that day of reckoning, then you can buy it. Then you can take Gene's long-term thesis and let it play out. But until that day comes,
when is that day? But when is that day?
You see them on Capitol Hill. They come in, they testify on Capitol Hill. It's all negative.
I think
Google's down.
I think we've seen that day of reckoning. I think that day is probably already hit the pinnacle of how bad the headwind is going to be for Google. Now, I could agree with a C grade. I can agree with a C plus, B minus. Doesn't matter. I still think the stock is buyable right now, and I can't argue with you. This is day one of the incident. You see it after hours, down over 7%. Wait a couple of days. Wait till the smoke clears. But this is a quality company with a bunch of levers that we're just finding out about that you can pull.
And if I may tie it together, Joe, I mean, it looks kind of like Fred Dorfman's car after that trip to Emily Dickinson University. And I don't think that was fair.
This is really getting strange. Dom,
Dom's not here yet.
It's almost one stock. It's 520. One stock. One stock with these guys. One stock.
Joe,
it's almost 520. Can you imagine, Dom? You do like 18 stocks in a minute and a half, don't you?
That's because your show makes me do all that.
That's right. All right. What, can I go? They're yelling at me. I got to go to the key.